So I guess that Super Nintendo port of a Hang On turned out better than the Genesis version did. Yes, this is the Batman Sunsoft company. It's a different version of Sunsoft than the one that made those old NES games. This is Tazmania on the Super Nintendo. This is absolutely nothing like the Genesis game, which, as I recall, was a side scrolling mascot platformer. This, strangely enough, is a speedy mascot platformer with a forward scrolling system. So it's like a racing game, except Taz is a car. As you can see from these Mode 7 raceways you got going on here. This game always looked good. This is actually one of the better looking games on the console when it came out. Uh, like the Duck Dodgers game that I played on this channel. I played the Porky Pig game on this channel too. I barely remember that game. I spent like an hour and a half playing that Porky Pig and Haunted Mansion video game. Don't remember a darn thing about it. I have to go back to my search box and watch that video because I played it and never touched it again. I think I got it at a good price, so it's basically a rental. This game was somewhat notorious when it came out because it was a game that was considered very hard, like Battletoads hard in a way, but you couldn't use a Game Genie. So it became it wasn't the easy mode conversation, it was part of the conversation about video games that didn't allow Game Genies to work with them. Now, what I guess I could do later on is I can pull out my Super Nintendo Game Genie and see if it works with this thing. It probably will. Of course, if it does, I don't know any codes. But this was part of the era when publishers got scared. They were worried that people would go to Blockbuster or Hollywood Video or whatever. They would rent a game and then beat it they would beat it in a weekend and then never force their parents to pay full price for it. They weren't wrong, but my parents bought maybe 4 games a year. Now I got 2 to 3 games a year on my birthday and on Christmas, and I would probably occasionally buy one game myself, like NBA Jam, which was a game you could technically beat on a rental, but that didn't keep anyone else from buying it. I bought it even though I beat it several times during a rental. But we're here to play this game, which is considered pretty but bad, which is true of a lot of the Super NES Looney Tunes licensed games of the era, like Duck Dodgers. Speedy Gonzales, which I also played. Again, it's kind of funny to go back and play these old, early 90s games that were created in the shadow, in the contrails, I guess, of Sonic the Hedgehog. Because you got to have your speedy, furry mascot platformers. I, of course, played Speedy Gonzales on this channel. I played the Roadrunner Death Valley Rally video game on this channel as well. Didn't like either of those games when they launched, honestly. I did not play the Duck Dodgers video game on this channel, but I did play Speedo Gonzales on this channel. Didn't care much for it. And I think at some point, it's not just the fact that Sonic is like kind of a meh video game on its own. It's that all these Me Too platformers kept trying to emulate what Sonic was doing to increasingly diminishing returns. You hold up to move your character, so already we're off to a roaring start because you have to hold the up button to run. You can also run backwards if you miss something. And the game will show, like that bus that just passed us, it shows up in the rear view mirror if you want to go back and get it. Apparently our objective is to catch these yellow kiwis right here. So this game is literally a kiwi chase game. Did I play Kiwi Chase on this channel? No, I played New Zealand Story. This isn't the New Zealand story. This is the Tasmania story. The Errol Flynn, that licensed Errol Flynn video game. On the top of the screen on the left-hand side below the timer, it shows you the number of kiwis you have to collect before the time runs out. I want to say the kiwis always spawn randomly, but if they don't, you might have to, if you miss one, you might have to run all the way back and get one, and I can't imagine that going well. If you hold down the X button, you can use your spinning devil attack, which uses up the yellow meter on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Unfortunately, this game did not come with a manual, so this will not go well. As you're probably starting to notice, this is supposed to be Australia, but everyone drives on the right side of the road. which I don't think this is supposed to, which I don't think is a canonically accurate, but anyway. And eating things like the flying birds and the kiwis, the groundless birds, the flightless birds, will fill your Taz meter, which is how I get to use this tornado, which allows me to go through trees. I don't know if it allows me to go through telephone poles, and it does not. It does not allow me to go through cars though. You can't jump. I've been told in some of the later stages you have to like jump at every intersection because there's always like a bus or some kind of traffic. And as you can also see, there are hills in this Mode 7 arena, which is it's a very nice effect. Wasn't that I want to say it wasn't that common in a lot of games. A lot of these Mode 7 arenas tended to be just flat ground. But you can tell right off the bat, like this game has a much better frame rate than something like, Super Hang-On, Outrun, or I think Monaco GP had the same problem on the Sega Genesis. And of course, the infamous Road Rash never ran at more than 10 frames a second. It was arguably a better game. I haven't played it yet. But this is a case where you're playing with superpower. Super NES does what the Genesis don't in this case. That's probably not fair. I'm positive there had to have been a couple of Genesis, racing games that were very well optimized. Ran at high frame rates. I just can't think of any off the top of my head. But they aren't really trying to do like a really demanding super scaler effect here. Like, these objects on the side of the road are scaling at a decent frame rate. I mean, it's not amazing. Like, it's not like, again, they aren't trying to do like a Super Thunderblade Space Harrier thing. But it gives you some, oh, wow. Taz need baking soda. Okay. So yeah, I mean, to be fair, from a technical standpoint, that was surprisingly easy. I failed that stage several times the first time I played level 2. There are only 3 continues, by the way, and I don't know how many levels there are in this game. But again, I've been told this game is very hard, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, pretty good animation here on Taz. The art style and those backgrounds do a very good job of emulating that old Chuck Jones style, because when the Tazmania series came out back in 1990, it took place in between, Tiny Toon Adventures and Animaniacs. So it was in that interregnum between the two shows. And they were clearly, and like Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries and one other show I'm forgetting off the top of my head, they were intentionally trying to ape that Chuck Jones style. So when Death Valley Rally came out, it was a great reference for the art style worked well with the Super NES color palette. So you already had art direction. Art direction was already baked in. So if you had artists who could make it work in a video game format, you had a lot of potential. And of course, the Super NES. Remember, the Super NES came out in the era of the late 80s, early 90s mascot platformer where the PC Engine said, we're going to make a home console. It's going to have lots of colors on screen. So their games are going to be bold and bright and beautiful. And this Super NES kind of took that and ran with it. Genesis infamously had a notoriously low color palette. Now, when it worked, you got games that looked like Aladdin, and looked amazing. Aladdin's arguably better than any game on the Super NES in terms of like doing a lot with a little. The 64 colors they were using for the Aladdin for the Genesis version of Aladdin, top tier. I missed one. Whoops. Oh, I didn't know they would come the other way. I didn't know they would come the other way. I didn't know it was a thing. Okay, so let's not do that. Maybe another one will spawn because I'm almost about to beat this level. I was expecting to do this. Okay, first of all, this is a 2-way. So I guess this is like a Texas highway where you can go both ways. That ain't cool. I think the water slows you down. Well, there's a kiwi. There's a kiwi. Got it. Wow, I'm blowing through these levels. Well, but like I said, apparently this show was directed by Leonard Robinson, who was a African American WB storyboard artist. I think this was his first directing gig, actually. And he was working with Rich Ahrens, who was another dude who worked on... I know he worked on a lot of Tiny Toon Adventures episodes. In fact, the best-looking episodes of Tiny Toons were animated in Japan by Tokyo Movie Shinsha. and Rich Ahrens was responsible got director's credit on all of those. So like Plucky Goes to Hollywood, was it Plucky Goes to Hollywood? How I Spent My Vacation with the Happy World Land stuff. Rich Ahrens absolutely was director on staff for that, and TMS did all of his animation, or at least the animation on those shorts. So Rich Ahrens and Leonard Robinson were on staff doing basically this is a very chatty show. People who remember the original cartoons, it was basically Bugs Bunny and this very uncharismatic, you know, this uncharismatic boar, this Tazmanian Devil. I haven't seen the that was a bonus stage. Okay, I wasn't paying attention. So I mean, I haven't seen a Tasmanian Devil cartoon in decades, actually, because I've seen like I've seen a few Pepe Le Pews. I feel like I've seen some Daffy Ducks, obviously, and a lot, but Tom and Jerry doesn't count. But the point is that in my mind, I know very little about the Tasmanian Devil character from those old cartoons, so my memories are very fuzzy about that. But my understanding of the cartoons at the time Tasmania premiered was that they said, okay, we want to make a show around Taz, but we want to make it like a sitcom. So the vibe of the show was an animated sitcom. You know, the tone was very much super chatty. They would hire people like Bill Kopp, who would go on to do Eek the Cat and Schnookums and Meat. They hired Mark Zaslav as one of the story. Whoops, deep water here. Okay, so that water you have to jump over. They hired was it Mark Zaslav, who was a showrunner on some. He did a lot of Disney stuff. He worked on. We did some less than impressive episodes of GoBots, as I recall. Did some Defenders of the Earth. Did DuckTales. Did the best episodes of DuckTales, where he did the 5-part miniseries that started the DuckTales animated series. And and I think that was where he did most of his work. Eventually, he wound up working on this show and some other very good shows like Mighty Max comes immediately to mind. But his whole deal, yeah, he worked on Crow. The first season of Crow is amazing. It's a perfect example of what happens when you hire a dude who has he has the right crew around him. That guy shot me. Hey, don't let the pterodactyl grab you. It'll take you backwards. That's not cool. But yeah, the whole vibe was let's do like Monty Python with some Leave It to Beaver sort of, you know, sweater dad humor. Everyone, if you're people of a certain age, know the meme. Dad was literally blah. His zinger was literally his catchphrase was literally blah 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 yakety schmackety. Like he was the original sweater dad, I guess, the original animated sweater dad. But they would do riffs on like Bob Hope movies that I still haven't seen to this day, which makes sense because Mark Zaslav did a lot of scripts for shows like what was it? Tailspin, where they would do they did a 2-part episode where they were basically riffing on the old Bob Hope, Bing Crosby road to insert international city here movies. I want to say they did a couple of other episodes of Tailspin that were riffs on Bob Hope's movies and maybe some other ones too. Oh, jeez, wow! So I think I have to wiggle the controller to get him to force him to let go. So that's rough. But I passed him. I passed him. I passed him. Whoop! Yeah, you gotta jump over the intersection. You gotta look both ways, kids. But yeah, the whole vibe. I remember really liking a lot of Tasmania. It depends on the episode, obviously, because one of the major problems this show had is that they never. I don't think any of the episodes were well animated. I don't know if they were on a budget, but they hired ACOM, the infamous South Korean studio that Nelson Shin had set up, to do do almost all the episodes. I think ACOM and a couple of other South Korean joints. I think it was Hanho, I think they were called. I want to say there are a couple of other studios that worked on the show. There's one more Kiwi I gotta get. Gotta whack on the button. Whack. Okay, let's try that again. I lost my picture. I don't know what happened. Maybe I lost the sync. That's Frisky Ding. Is that Frisky Dingo? I forgot his name. But yeah, voiced by Rob Paulson on the animated series. But yeah, that was another example of what made the show great, is that they had great voice acting by lots of really good veterans. Whoops! Jim Cummings played the role of Taz. I think he played a couple of other characters. They had Jess Harnell playing, I think he was playing some exterminators who were supposed to catch cats. Yeah, they were doing of mice and men kind of thing. And so the vibe of the show was very chatty, like I said, like lots of Monty Python, some Rain Man references, I guess, were in there at some point. I gotta get one more. Get him! Darn it! That was it. I could have got him. Now I gotta burn and continue, and there are only 3. Yeah, I'm doing way better at this game than I thought I would. I thought I would blow through all my lives and continues in like 10 minutes. Yeah, I guess I'm doing better by playing on a stream. But I did do that practice run earlier, so I guess I did a practice run for like 10 minutes to see how the game played. So I guess that worked. I didn't think this was going to be a game that required a whole lot of explanation. Music's not that impressive, but you know, it doesn't have to be. The reason this game got a lot of praise at the time was because of the visuals. Again, the art style in these Sunsoft Looney Tunes games was almost always good. Like the Porky Pig, what was it? Did I miss one? Dude, he's zigzagging. Dude. I guess I missed one of them. But yeah, I want to say all of these Looney Tunes games that I play have very good art. Like Bugs Bunny's Rabbit Rampage, I remember seeing pictures of that. And that looked very good. I don't remember if the game was any good, but it, you know, very interesting looking game. Again, they took all their art style from the old Chuck Jones cartoons, and they did a very good job of bringing it to life. I mean, again, we weren't in the Earthworm Jim. Yeah, we weren't in the Earthworm Jim Dave Perry arena yet. I missed the bone. Ah, crap! I got to keep mashing on the buttons to get him to let me go. I'm just mashing on the button. Hope I can grab him. Because you have to line up with them sideways so that you can grab them and eat them. Okay, how many more we got? Did I miss one? Yeah, there we go. There they go. Yeah, just let them go. Can I whirlpool through those? Might be able to whirl through those. Did I get one? Okay, there he goes. Okay, I missed 2. Let's go, go. Whoops! I let go. I shouldn't have let go. Can I catch up to him? I don't know. Did they go off the screen? You don't want to eat up all my juice. Here's Dingo. I keep forgetting his name. Ow! Didn't know he could do that. That's a cheap trick. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't spin anymore. So. Uh-oh. Let me go. Let me. God. I'm not your boyfriend. Sorry, wrong Warner Brothers cartoon. Anyway, that's Taz's mom. Just in case you know. So no, I'm not her boyfriend. I'm her son. Yeah. I don't remember who does her voice though. All I remember is Taz's dad. Really. I mean, he also had a sister and a brother. But again, the whole vibe was ow. The whole vibe was, 50 sitcom basically. And everyone kept making fun of him because he didn't really say much. Like everyone kept talking around him basically. But some people would kind of make fun. Some people would just kind of make fun of the fact that he wasn't very loquacious. Like Dingo over there, like he would have like entire monologues to himself, and then Taz would say 2 words, and then he would just continue with his monologues. Like there was that whole short where Taz kept saying "Taz find bottle cap," and Dingo kept insisting that I was a lucky bottle cap, so we had to keep engaging in all these, schemes to get the bottle cap out of Taz's hands. Then inevitably something bad would go wrong because he's basically the Wile E. Coyote of this situation. So Taz was like, Taz, find bottle cap, and this dude was literally just like, I guess he wanted that bottle cap. You know, it was his that he was greedy. So like any good Chuck Jones villain, he kept getting his comeuppance repeatedly. Go away, go away. Okay, we got another one. Hey! Tried to grab the kiwi again. I'm not gonna. Didn't I almost complete this level? I'm pretty sure I almost completed this level. Like this kind of sucks. Wow, they got the trees in the water. Like that's rough. I feel like there should be an easier way to do this if I just stick to the side of the screen. Then I can't get the kiwis. So that might be the trick. There he goes. How many we got? 2. So I can't spin through them. I have to stop and grab them. Got one. Yeah, no boxing glove on that one, huh? Thank you. Hey, what? See, I saw him coming too. Again, it's not as bad as say Battletoads because the pop-in isn't usually as bad as a game like Battletoads, but like this is kind of annoying though. I see him. Where'd he go? Yeah, I'll go to the other side of the screen usually. You gotta run him down. Got him. Okay, 4 more to go in 85 seconds. How are we gonna do this? There's one of them. There's 2 of them. The game might be spawning more as we go. I don't know. And I think I have to mash on the buttons if I hit an obstacle. Here's one of them. I don't see him. Uh-oh, that's not good. Ow! See, I missed 2 of them. I think they just despawned. Do I have to hit the L and R buttons too? Because I don't think L and R do anything in this game. I mean, there's a brake button if you use the A button, but why would I brake? In a game like this, why would you ever stop? Here's one of them. There he goes. Should I just slow down and not come to a complete stop? Sounds like a good idea. Okay, I passed 2 of them. Got one of them. That's 2 of them. So there's a chain bonus. That's cool. Did I miss him? Okay, I missed him completely. All right, so I missed him completely. Got 2 more to go. Let's go. Go, 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 go. There's one of them. Okay, 1 more to go. There's the other one. Ow! Darn it. Get up. Get up. Get up. 1 more to go. I had to speed up to make sure I got past him. Got missed. Whack! I thought I jumped. He ran out of time. I completely passed him. I need another one to respawn. There it is. Bad timing. Can't run anymore. I'm host. Yeah, I'm host. He got me. So I think hitting that sign is what did me in. Look, this game is not as awful as I worried it would be. But as a racing game, it's actually kind of annoying. So this isn't really a racing game, but it has kind of that Rad Racer vibe. Like hold down the up button, make sure I mean, it's not about hitting turns really. It's more about just avoiding the obstacles really. You can't, use the cars as bumper cars. Whoops. You can't treat the cars like bumper cars. Ah! I saw that coming too. Whoop, I stopped. I freaked out and I stopped, and now I gotta eat some more birds. I gotta eat more birds. So one of them will spawn eventually. We need a couple of them. Okay, I missed him. Did he despawn? I think the kiwi just despawns if it disappears from your rear view icon, I guess. Okay, we need more birds. There we go. Sometimes you have to jump to kind of haul them in. I got one. Yeah, it's one of the 5 kiwis. Here comes another one. 2. Here comes another one. Yeah, careful! Saw that. Ow! Bastard. There he is, there he is, there he is. Can I get the pterodactyl off my case? Okay, I missed one. There he goes. Gotta jump the intersections. And the hills are weird. Where'd he go? There he goes. Got one. Is there another one up here? Yeah, there's one up here. Did I miss him? I missed him. There he goes. Yeah, I just slowed down. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have stopped. I saw him coming. Ugh. I saw him coming. There were two of them ahead of me too. Ugh. This might be kind of hard to see because of the way the my CRT is blowing out this really noisy image from my DVD recorder. It's composite video, but it's really noisy. Yeah, I'm coming up on him. Coming up on him. Got him. Gimme. Taz, find kiwi. Got him. There he goes. I got him. I got him. Off that pterodactyl. I got one of them. One more to go. Two more to go. Let's go. Let's get him. Get him. Get him. God darn it! Ah! Come on. I had them both. All right. Not bested yet. Game kind of fools you to think you're actually doing better than you are sometimes. Okay, there's one of them. Yeah, let him run past me. Did I miss him? I missed him! He turned around. That's not fair. You don't want to run backwards too long. Okay, where's the next one? I missed one. Here comes the car. It's coming up behind me. So don't press the grab button until you're close to it. Got him? Nope, you got to rifle me. Get careful, careful. Jump! There you go! Come on! Literally had him in my grasp. Literally right in front of him. And I'm out of loot. Yeah, I'm out of juice. I need more Taz juice. Unlimited lives, but technically. Okay, one more to go. There he is. Got him! Woohoo! Taz need dental floss. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Items. Well, the items that frisky dingo. The items that Dingo was dropping off. Yeah, wasn't there like it was like a hotel owner, I think. Yeah, there was like a hotel owner. Yeah, they had like I think they were doing like a Faulty Towers bit too. So yeah, they had a Monty Python in that cartoon. They had Faulty Towers. They had a bit of everything. Awful lot of water here in Australia. What part of Australia? Actually, a lot of water here in Tasmania. I was not aware. I might have to revisit. I might have to look at Wikipedia to see what the climate of Tasmania is. There are a couple of interesting tidbits about Tasmania that I forgot. I was supposed to look that up. Because I was reading about Tasmania and about some of the flora and fauna other than just the Tasmanian Devil. And I was supposed to look it up. But it caught my attention a couple of months ago. But yeah, I mean, if you in IRL, like the Tasmanian Devil is like basically like it's like a squirrel, right? Like it's not even that big. It's basically like a squirrel. And there are no Tasmanian devils in Australia at all, are they? Like they're endemic to Tasmania, right? Ow. Okay, dodge that one. But again, all the cars can take up both lanes. You're supposed to stay on the left side of the road, but they're taking up both lanes now, I suppose. Okay, I'm gonna have to use the turbo through here. Turbo Taz. He can really move. He's got an attitude. He's the fastest thing alive. How we doing? Okay, we're good, but no kiwis. Sometimes they spawn two at a time. Whoops. Sometimes they spawn two at a time. Sometimes not. Again, I am reasonably impressed by, how, dynamic and vibrant the colors are here. Very good art here. So it is a better looking game than I thought it would be going in. Okay, there's a bus coming up. Ow! Stupid. Like, I literally walked into that one. But the hills are kind of annoying because you have to kind of jump when you get to the top of them. Yeah, because you can't really see over them. Much like real life. But again, Road Rash was trying to do stuff like this too. It just didn't work very well because the frame rate was so bad. Again, I still maintain that Road Redemption from like 2013 is a much better game. Like it just runs way better. Even on like a $200 budget laptop from 2017, it runs very well, shockingly. So I'm definitely going to play more of that game. This game, however, I'm probably not going to play more than another half hour of it. Like, this feels like a good run, but I don't know if I'm going to want to play more of it. I mean, poor kids, their parents probably got them this game for Christmas, and or they saw it at Toys R Us on a kiosk. They probably thought it was interesting, but nah. But I admit, I didn't want to rent this game because it sounded really frustrating, and honestly, I mean, I like it way more than Death Valley Rally, but it does kind of have, like, it feels more approachable. And certainly there's a better sense of speed, because in Death Valley Rally, you're constantly running into obstacles. You can never really get any momentum. But this, and the levels were really sort of, they were very vertical, but the controls weren't really conducive to, like, adventure, search action platforming, if you know what I mean. And you were on a time limit when that wasn't great. So I maintain that a ROM hack of Death Valley Rally would be a really interesting game. We're almost at it continues, so we're gonna call it. Taz find limit of interest in this video game, but it's better than I thought it was gonna be. So we're in the C tier here. Looks good, runs shockingly well. Not a lot of slowdown, which again on the Super NES, kind of saying something. But yeah, this game is not amazing. But I played it for half an hour, and it's actually not terrible. I'm doing way better at it than I thought I would. But losing on my continue, that's probably why this game doesn't work with a Game Genie, because I can't imagine there being that many levels here. Like a game like this doesn't have to be open world, but I imagine if they had like an outrun system where you had like, branching paths at the end of the levels. Maybe like, maybe an adventure component. Maybe you could actually like do, what was that? There was a PC Engine game called Victory Road, right? Like, imagine if Taz could do, like, not just, chase down kiwis down corridors like this. Like, what if you could actually, like, go to different areas and, like, interact with other characters and, like, do other things other than just chase down kiwis. But again, this is a licensed game. This particular, wow, I completely tanked that level. But yeah, I mean, this, like, again, with a bit more time, if it weren't like just a throwaway license game, this could have been something a little bit better. Remember, this is like 93, so you weren't really gonna make a really ambitious Tazmania game. Like if this were a modern game, we'll probably have like a hub area, and there would probably be some fetch quests in there, or it'd be more like the Genesis game, which is literally just a 2D side-scrolling platformer. But this is actually a good showpiece for the Super NES. Again, great use of the color palette, really good animation, no slowdown really that I noticed, good sense of speed. Um, yeah, again, very good character design in the artwork here. Very good job of sort of showing off. Again, this is what the Super Nintendo does, the Genesis don't. It's them doing a character action game as a racer that runs at a much better frame rate than something like Super Hang On or Super Monaco GP or Space Harrier on the Genesis. Not as ambitious as those games visually, but the art's better and the frame rate's higher, and arguably that's what's important. So it works in its own way. It's a good little showpiece game. Not good, but it's a nice little showpiece, I think. I don't even know who developed this game. I don't think it was Sunsoft. I want to say this was the era where Sunsoft would get companies like Ringler Studios and ICOM Simulations to do a bunch of games like Duck Dodgers or Death Valley Rally. They did an Elmer Fudd game, right? Wasn't there? I think I want to say there was an Elmer Fudd game as well. But yeah, I played I played Speedy Gonzales. I played Death Valley Rally. I played this game. I played was one other game. I did not play Duck Dodgers here. I don't think. But I want to say I did play the Porky Pig game. But I want to say there's one other Warner Brothers game I did play. I don't remember Duck Dodgers being good, but I remember it had that interesting little mechanic where every time you shot the gun, Daffy would bounce backwards, like he would fly backwards. So in the era before Mighty Goose, Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century was a Super Nintendo game, which I think also came out in the Genesis. I'll double check. Again, it's one of those games that as a kid I barely played for half an hour. I barely touched that game. But again, now that I have YouTube channels and I'm making these video logs and I'm sharing my experiences with these games, they become more memorable even if the games aren't really worth playing again. So if I ever have the inkling to play this game ever again, I can say that I played it on a CRT on original hardware with the intended input lag. But yeah, we're going to do okay. So I recorded this on original hardware. It's my original 1993 Super Nintendo that I still own. Still works, despite the visual. Yeah, despite some of the noise you're seeing in the signal here. And I recorded this via a Magnavox DVD VHS combo unit. I played on a CRT. It's a JVC DVD combo CRT from 2003, maybe 2004. The composite video with the yellow cable is very noisy coming out of the DVD recorder. But when I plug in the Super Nintendo to the TV, it's a little bit cleaner. But I'm capturing this HDMI output that's at 1080p via a Vivitar USB-C capture dongle that I got from Walmart. It's less than $30. So the input latency is usually low enough for me to play shooters on the TurboGrafx Mini, but the input latency is a little bit higher than it is on the CRT. Not significantly higher, but maybe a frame. Maybe it probably adds an extra frame of lag, one or two tops. But for a game like this, I think it arguably boils down to. I think this game isn't very tactical, but yeah, this might be a game where you want really low input latency so you can react more quickly to the hazards that appear. So I played reasonably well, so I feel good about that. Captured this at 768p at 60 frames a second using the Windows 10 capture app on my Gateway quad core 1 point. Is this a silver? I don't remember what the CPU was, but it's a quad core. At least 1.2 gigahertz. 4 gigs of RAM on this thing. But again, the point is to capture this footage at 60 frames a second. The music's nothing to worry about. You didn't have to hear it. It's kind of not great. This is a game made to be seen, not to be heard, I would argue. And arguably not really to be played, but I think if you were to play this game as a tweener game in between other Super Nintendo games, I think it's fine. But no, I would not want to pay $60 for this on launch. It'll be absurd. But a good showpiece for the console. Taz Mania on the Super Nintendo.